Hello, everyone out there, and welcome back to the Elite Racing Network, where our season will kick off tonight with the Elite Clash. Live from Daytona, we're looking at 60 laps. Everybody's got their new paint schemes, getting a feel for speed weeks here, kicking off. Joining me in the booth tonight is Dave Huckleberry, as always, our great producer and leader here at ERN. And Jacob Adams will be joining us this season for race control and the booth. What? Yeah,
No
yeah,
Nick.
Nick.
No Nick.
No Nick tonight. I guess he's too busy doing something else. Probably making dinner. It takes him a long time to make dinner. He's got to go butcher a cow and churn the butter. It takes him a good long while. But tonight they are lining up here. Some new faces and new places. Dave, what are you hoping to see tonight here? And I know, I believe Westergreen just hit the wall on the pace lap.
On the pace lap. I was about to say what I hope to see is a lot of green flag laps, but if you're going to hit the wall on the pace lap, we may not see that.
Well, as you see here, we're taking a look here at our race lineup. A Leighton Norgard. This was done by random draw. Joe Francis, Josh Robin, William White, Wadsworth, our champion from last year, Ethan Stanley, Tyler Fody, Chad Frankenfield, Gerald Campbell, Ethan Burrell, Trey Holmes, and Dustin Dewar are our top 12. Then we got John Cutlet, Josh Adams, Matthew Weeks, Johnny Thomas. I believe this might be wrong. I am not sure.
What?
Yeah, our graphic is wrong. They are lining up here. It looks like Josh Robin is going to be on the pole. You know what? It's Daytona.
Who cares?
Exactly. It'll all change in a lap and a half. So I'm going to throw it to you, Jake. Tell me what you're hoping to see up here, your first season as an off-track, and, of course, here in the booth with us. And we think we're a great time, but it's not like they're lined up to get in here. So what are you hoping to see this season? And you hoping for a quiet season here on the admin front?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just hoping they give me an easy go of it tonight. Still trying to get my feet wet with this race control stuff, so hopefully they just make it easy for me.
Well, and with that, as they head for turn 3, Dave, who's your pick to win tonight?
I'm going to go with my teammate, Dusty the Dragon Durer, to win this one.
All right, Jake, who you got?
I'm taking outside pole, brother Josh.
Wow, that's a lame pick right there.
Hey, you gave it to me. It was a layup.
You know who I'm going to take? I will take Ethan Burrell as the winner tonight. I think he's a really great drafter. A couple guys to watch out for tonight. Johnny Thomas always finds his way to the front, but the pace car is getting ready to release this field here with, I believe, Josh Robin and Josh Adams. They are some new schemes out here. Some look the same, Tate Lytle and that Days Gone By machine. It looks great, so if it ain't broke, don't change it. As the green is out and the whole field gets black flagged, I think everybody's going to need a clear. But they head for turn 1, pushing on the top, pushing on the bottom. Everybody's being aggressive. Tyler Fody's starting out back tonight. We'll have to watch his progress. Heading down the back stretch, and we did get some preseason testing last night, and these cars we are they are a little bit difficult when you're pushing and shoving and cars move around quite a bit. So it will be interesting to see exactly what happens tonight with the pushes. But right now they are pushing very hard out front, still 2 by 2. They are going to come down here to complete the first lap. And 3 wide mid-pack, John Cutlip passing his teammate Tate. John's going to shoot right up the center here.
So I was told pre-race, and I'm already kind of seeing it, with Josh getting pushed by Dusty, that it doesn't. He said that he doesn't think the bumpers line up as good as they used to. He's been getting pushed sideways that entire first lap.
But that's what it takes to be fast. I guess it's how much faith do you have in the guy behind you, how hard do you want to work. And tonight there's no points on the line. It's all win. You're getting the trophy or nothing. And it kind of scares you a little bit when Dusty gets that far off center. Dusty went way out wide into 3 there. And Jake, you know what that feels like when somebody gets that far off center sometimes.
Yeah, you just hope they don't cut back in when they're off center like that. And it's a front row seat to the outside wall.
And that outside line is kind of dying out right now. Everybody's lined up on the bottom.
Yeah, while they have no help, it's going to be up to Josh to be able to get down on these guys' quarter panel and pull him back to the front until this yellow car gets back to him.
And Josh is one of those he's in a new team as he's going to go back here in the sucker hole, but he is moved over to Shift, and I think Shift has had a brand swap as well, right? Switching to Toyotas from Ford.
Yeah, John Cutlip, he didn't want to ride around on that outside line. He wanted to take the extreme outside line, and he wants to lead this race coming to lap 4.
Yeah, and John started in the back, and I believe that's Harry pushing him, right? So they've been working together, or Trey Holmes, excuse me, not Harry. But they've been working together from that back part of the pack all the way to the front. We saw him go in the center, go to the top of 3. And now they are there with Matthew Weeks, a teammate of theirs, RC, a teammate of theirs. So all of a sudden, it's all coming up Pro Edge here at the front of this pack.
Yeah, it looks like John, he really wanted to make sure that you look up in your mirror and you get to see that car. It's highlighter yellow, you can't miss it.
They are pushing very aggressively as, Josh, like you mentioned, was up there leading that top lane, and all of a sudden he's back there mid-pack, right there, the 3 wides all around him.
Well, that's as fast as it can happen. As you were saying, that running order will be different after 1 lap. If you saw with Josh, you could be running first 1 lap and then 20th the same lap.
Now you got Tate trying to shoot up the center. I think Josh is going to try to block that, force Tate there to get checked up with Ethan Burrell. Josh moving back to the top. Dustin Dewar up there trying to make something happen on the top of 3. And I think all they're doing is hurting themselves right there doing that right now unless somebody can get a big push. Josh going to shoot up the middle. We got that 3rd lane forming. This is as much as we've seen in the 3rd lane other than just a couple cars trying to shoot through. Josh has got good help now. He's got 2 good guys behind him. How far forward do you think they're going to be able to get here, Jake?
I don't know. I don't really see this middle line working a whole lot. It's all about trying to keep cars off of your right rear quarter panel so you don't get slowed down by the side draft, and it doesn't seem like they're able to get going. Tate gets a little contact from the outside.
Yeah, he I believe Gerald got the wall a little bit, came down and got Tate a little bit. Josh gets all the way down to the bottom, bails on that middle lane. He's going to get in there behind Scott Crump. Got Ethan Stanley, and Josh, as I say that, Josh is going to go right back looking for this middle. David Tooker pulling down to the middle. Tooker doesn't have a whole lot of help right now. Oh, here comes Tate. This will be the 2nd time Tate's went to the middle and not went forward. Chad Frankenfield running back there as well in the very back.
This is where I'm interested to see now that this bottom lane has kind of lost their ground if they're able to get formed back up and retake the lead down here with just 3 or 4 cars lined up.
Yeah, and all this going on back here, we didn't talk about the front. Matthew Weeks got shoved out to the lead, and he moved up in front of his teammate Cutler. They got Trey Holmes right there. Trey's working that side draft there. They got RC right there. 4 Pro Edge cars lined up in the first 4 spots on that top line. So Tooker and Tate, Ethan Burrell trying to get up there and work with their teammates. And I understand some of these might be fueled up, but those cars are all made by the same hands down there. So I consider all them Pro Edge and teammates. So they all are in the same jar. And here comes Josh pulling up in front of Tooker. Going to get the big push. Josh is pulling pretty far up there. Big push down the back. William White trying to side draft him. You saw that right there. Josh had a big run, and William White got right down on his right rear, just like you were talking about, trying to keep people off your right rear. And that killed the momentum of that center lane.
Well, now you see if these guys can't get it figured out, and that front six can stay single file, there's a chance with this drafting model they can drive away if they keep slowing themselves down this much. But here they come with some steam through the middle.
Yeah, but Josh has got a guy on either quarter panel, so they're still there. They're still stuck. The outside lane nearly hitting the wall. The inside lane getting a big push. I think William White is clear. Not quite clear. Not quite clear as William White. It looks like David Westergreen and Tyler Fody are kind of dropping back, trying not to pull away. I think they know if they pull away with these Pro Edge guys that they're probably not going to have a shot to win this race, so they need the field to stay together.
Well, yeah, and Tyler's a smart guy. He knows he's got, I believe that's, 3 teammates lined up on the inside behind him. He can back that 0-9 up a little bit if he needs to. That might actually be what's happening, so that his teammates can get the suck off of them.
And you see that center line is starting to back up. Tate's seen the light. He got down to the bottom. Tooker and Adams have fallen back through. And like you mentioned, the middle lane is not a lane you want to be in, and you're going to see it all week. All week long, we've got a lot of action coming up here in this Cup card. We're going to have the duels on Wednesday, qualifying on Wednesday. The rule that I've always went with, ever since this next-gen car came out on the sim, is if you're going to go through the middle, you need to make sure your run is big enough and know that you're going to have a spot to land on the other side. Because if you get to the other side and you're stuck there, you're going to go backwards. As you see right here.
And if you go backwards and you're closer to the tail of the field, you don't have any help. That's a recipe for disaster to lose the draft, as you can lose the draft just that quick in this drafting model. So you really got to
Fody has split him up. Fody pulled out, got around RC, and look at the 23 trying to block. Fody working that side draft really aggressive, really hard. He knows that he does not want Pro Edge sitting out here controlling this thing.
Yeah, that's one of the best super speedway racers there in the 40 that we have here, Tyler Fody. We know he's going to find his way to the lead. He's going to try to anyway, and when he gets there, he doesn't like giving it up, and he wants his other Blue Egg cars behind him when he gets there.
That's right, the Blue Egg machines down there on the bottom. You still got Josh Robin, you got Crump, that's Lake Norman in the bottom lane. You almost wonder if Fody gets clear, does he pull down? But right now, they're working pretty good on the bottom side, coming back without him. And there is kind of a corporate partner up there. As look at the inside lane, big push there.
Josh Robin gets pushed to the middle. That's as quick as it's going to happen. He's going to go from leading the inside, and he's going to be 15th by next lap.
Yeah, and I think what happened there was Weeks came down to side draft them. I don't know if there was some net code, if they actually touched. Got all those guys out of shape, and it really checked up this pack. But I was about to say, the 09 machine there, David Westergreen and his team here, South Shore Racing, kind of partnered up a little bit with the Lake Norman guys this season, so I think they'll work together as well. And you see just how quickly that top line has just went away.
Well, we had a new leader, Ethan Stanley, and now his teammate, Scott Crump, is going to leave him hanging out and go up and block Ethan Burrell, try and lead the race for himself.
And the shuffle is on, boys. Wow, lots of moving, lots of shaking, a little bit of blocking. Johnny Thomas up here. This pack is kind of split in two. You got Josh Robin, and then you got the rest of the field a little bit back. You talked about losing the draft. Now, right now, they're running 3x3, so that group is probably okay, but I mean, you got Josh Adams back there, Dustin Dewar, That gap is...
Oh, we've got Tate going around. Is he going to save it? He's through the grass, through the infield. What a save by Tate.
Well, I just heard Tate queue up. I just heard him queue up and say that he was running hot. And I have just been told, I have been calling the 09 wrong all race long. Shout out to David Westergreen out here. That is Vint in the 09. So the 09 out here is going to be Vince. Out here working hard, trying to stay up here towards the front of this field. We'll have to see what Vince can do. Getting back to the front is Josh Adams got a big run with Dustin Dewar. They're going through the center.
Yeah, that mishap with the 56 back on the back straightaway and getting the field all strung out is exactly what Josh and that group of 6 at the back needed to get back in this draft. They're right back in this thing.
Yeah, I just think what Josh needs to do is maybe be a little bit more patient, start looking for the right rear of people instead of going through the center. It worked out right there, but Dustin was pushing the far out of him. But we all know, Jake, you and I know Josh pretty well. There is no ride in the vocabulary of Josh Adams at a super speedway race.
No, he's going to be one of the most aggressive out here. He's what he's probably doing is practicing to see how fast maybe he can crash for the race next Monday when Ohio State's in the national championship. He's just going for broke.
Yeah, we'll see how that shakes out. We'll see what he's able to learn tonight for the 500. For the duels on Wednesday, the duels are going to be pretty important. We got a lot of open cars. Everybody's got a teammate or a friend trying to get into the race. So as we sit here right now, that top side, Chad Frankenfield's going to pull up to the top, pull in front of the 2 Lake Norman teammates of Scott Crump and Tyler Cody. R.C. Enerson out front with the Pro Edge Brigade still out there. John Cutlett, Matthew Weeks. Will they pull up and block Chad Frankenfield? Don't think so. Chad's got a big run here, a big push, big shove coming to him. Cutlip's going to pull up.
John's going to pull up. He's going to block him. Big push from Weeks to RC here.
Not nearly it. Chad has not lifted off of that 5 machine since he got in front of him. Chad said, if you're going to pull up here and take this run, you better be ready to hold on.
Now, if there's anybody that can match aggression with Josh at the super speedways or even go over that line, we know the driver of the 15, he's probably one of them. So I wouldn't doubt in the slightest for him to try and take the lead as soon as possible.
Now, if you're going to try to stay up front, you got to get down there and side draft a little bit. I think it falls on Chad to try to get down there and pull that 11 back, but it's too late. Too late as you see Josh Adams pulling up to behind the 11 as well. And this is just straight up, but they do have to make a pit stop to make it to the end. They can only run about 40 laps on fuel. Oh, and Chad.
We've got Chad with the crossover. So you got the help coming from RC soon enough.
Chad got that new look this season with the red and black there. Just a little bit of a tweak on the ski. Chad to the front. Does he pull to the top? He does. He pulls to the bottom, takes the lead, and then he pulls up to the top.
We've got John coming through the middle. Oh, contact at the lead.
Yeah, a little bit of contact.
What a move by John.
And just like that, Chad's got to go to the back, work it all over again. Chad not happy about getting hung out either.
Yeah, Chad had just came over and said that all he wanted to do was lead a lap, and he got there. He just didn't get across the line in time.
And now Josh Adams pulls up to the top. Now Josh Adams did give us the okay to bring him up at any point during the race. Oh, RC trying to move up and block. Oh, and that's going to hurt Chad. Or, excuse me, Josh. Josh and RC both losing spots because of that block.
Look at that. Josh has got damage to his right front. He actually took a pretty hard hit to the right side there.
Yeah, I think Josh is going to be pretty frustrated with that. We'll see what happens. I think RC lost his help for the rest of the race. As you can see, this field is split now. You talked about how easy it is to lose the draft. We are split. We have 14 cars up here in the lead draft, and then it's 2 seconds to Dustin Dewar, Josh Robin, Wadsworth, Norgard, Joe Francis, and William White. And then Gerald and Tate had that issue and lost a lot of time. And Josh Adams did just get around RC there. So at what point do you think a green flag stop is coming? I believe the window's open right here and now. You could pit here and make it to the end. What are you thinking, Jake?
Yeah, I think. Well, for one, you want to have teammates, and you want to have some people that you can pit with. I want to have at least 2 or 3, 4 guys I can pit with.
Well,
and,
I believe, Jake,
speeds up.
You, myself, Nick, Josh, we all have kind of practiced this and tested out this scenario in the past. You need at least 4 cars. 4 cars can run as fast as the pack. If you get 4 cars lined up working together, they can run as fast, if not faster, than this pack of race cars.
Right.
So
I want to be one of these guys like a Pro Edge or a Lake Norman that knows I have a bunch of people out there that I know I'm going to pit with. The only one that I know doesn't have any teammates out here, I think, is Josh. So if I was him, I'm going to try and tack on with one of those other teams.
But I don't
figure out what they're pitting.
I don't believe Chad's got any teammates. Johnny Thomas is up here.
I don't know. As hard as these guys are hitting, I don't know where we're going to get to a green flag pit stop.
And John is going to get shuffled here. They are working together to hang him out. And just like that, a big run there. Is that Jesse Racimus in the 70 machine up there as well? I don't think he's got a teammate as either. Front 3 kind of drove away. There was a big push there to those front 3, and they've worked away from everyone else right now. They are coming back to them. And I'm looking back there at Jesse Racimus and Ethan Stanley. They're about to lose this lead draft. I mean, this is just what you talked about. It is very easy. Like, this field dwindles and dwindles, and it gets down to about 15 cars, and then it's really hard to stay in this lead draft. So you're seeing 4 guys kind of trying to hang on to this lead draft right now. Do you think they'll be able to get back to this pack?
I think they'll be able to get back, and unless they all really kind of single out and just kind of run to the pit stop, they'll be able to push back up there. But right now, they're still running hard enough. I think they're slowing each other down with the side draft.
Well, I think Stanley and Johnny are getting back, but Jesse and Vince, I don't think they're getting back. I think they're too far. They would need this field to almost have a crash to get back to him. As Josh Adams out front with help from Ethan Burrell. We got Trey Holmes, John Cutt. All of a sudden, Pro Edge lined up there on the top, all behind Josh Adams. Big push on the bottom, not going anywhere as everyone fans out towards the top. And Tyler Fody ends up without a seat. It's like musical chairs. The whole bottom line went to the top. And
well,
they
now
left.
we've got the 23 trying to make the bottom line. They didn't want to run single file on the top that long, as Josh is going to come down and block. 23 is going to shoot high, contact.
I think what we're seeing here is Pro Edge trying to get lined up here with each other, and Josh with the big block, and that's going to hurt Trey. But it's still all Pro Edge right behind him. Like, I hate to tell Josh, but it's all Pro Edge for about 6 or 7 spots there behind him. How wide can Josh make that 22 machine?
He's going to try, but it's going to be hard to block 3 lanes at once they all pair up and try coming at him at one time.
Oh, Chad's going through the middle. That's going to hurt that bottom side, so that's going to... Oh, Cutliff's going to move down, but not a big enough run. Cutlip's going to shoot back to the top.
So that's all Chad needed was Cutlip to swing over, and Chad was able to come up 3 or 4 lanes and get up to second. Oh, Chad,
Contact!
Darcy in the wall. They save it. 1 car through the...
And they're going to stay green right here. Everybody stays straight. Chad with some heavy damage. I think the lobby's asking for a caution. But nobody spun. It was... As you see here, that really... I mean, this is... coming up pro edge here. They've shuffled Josh Adams here. Josh Adams has got to hope he can stay in line here with this front group. Josh Adams is in danger of losing the draft. Well, do we have a replay of that incident there, Dave?
Let me take a look. I might have to do it the hard way, but I'll get you there.
10-4.
Everybody, put your Wayback Machine on here.
Living in reverse right now. As you see Chad backing up right now. A little bit of radio style. They are still 2x2 at the front. But they are losing cars. We are down to not a lot in our front package. Right there's the incident. Taking a look here. John moves up. Chad moves up a little bit. Oh, it's like Chad thought he was still clear out there, but RC was all the way up to his door. They get hung together. The 23 does a pretty good job of getting checked up. And then they're going to get back together once again, nearly spin each other out. Almost enough for a caution, but not quite. And then they keep on moving along here. Someone shot down pit lane right there as well out of this lead draft, and that's going to hurt their chances to win.
I believe that was Johnny Thomas.
But as it sits right now, we have a 7-car lead draft. Nearly 4 seconds, 3.5 seconds to Josh Robin and that group. And they passed Josh Adams going so much faster than him. He's going to be lucky to hang on to this draft. So now you're kind of got to try to make a pit stop with just the guys you're around.
Yeah, if I'm that back group, I maybe try and make my pit stop now before they lose any more time, and try and get.
Oh, we're wrecking in turn 4. The 12, the 09, the 32, the 6 is down there. Last year's champion, last season's champion.
I don't know what happened with that 6. It's like his car just died, and I don't know if he was overheating or.
Yeah, something happened to the 6 for sure. It blew up. The 6 blew his motor. If we ride on board, you can hear it. You hear the engine let go. Oh my goodness. Right there, you heard it. You heard the motor let go. He got the car too hot. Couldn't get out of there in time. Not what you want to do as a champion from the previous season, is start the year blowing the motor. Well, and I believe that's going to be pit stop time for everybody.
We did have a fun little wrinkle here. This caution gets anybody that was a lap down back on the lead lap, so we're going to have a full field back racing for this win here. Nobody's out of it.
Well, that 6 is done for the night.
Can't fix that.
if your car is able, you've got a chance.
But here comes everybody else down the pit road. I'm guessing Ford fuel. I guess it just depends.
You don't really need the tires, but if I'm at the back of the pack and everybody else is going to take tires, I'd probably take the fuel only.
Oh, there it is. Look at this. Lake Norman, William White. They're out of there pretty quick. I think we're going to take this opportunity, though, to get in our one commercial break here during the event, right at the halfway point. So stick with us. We'll be back live on the Elite Racing Network on the other side of this break.
Since 2010, race fans have had one burning question. When will the Xfinity Series return to Worldwide Technology Raceway? You asked, NASCAR delivered. On Saturday, September 6, 2025, the magic is back. The track that launched the legendary careers of Harvick, Busch, Keselowski, Edwards, and Earnhardt Jr. is now ready to write that next chapter. We're going to introduce you to a new crop of future champions and Hall of Famers. And in the process, we'll create more of the greatest moments in racing history. NASCAR Weekend 2025, the NASCAR Cup Series Championship Playoffs, the Confluence Music Festival, and now 250 miles of the NASCAR Xfinity Series. 2 incredible races, 1 challenging track, a 3-day party of epic proportions. Go to www.raceway.com and lock in your weekend racing and camping packages for as little as $20 down. 3 years of sellout crowds, 3 years of edge-of-your-seat action, 3 years of jaw-dropping finishes. Worldwide Technology Raceway has rocked the world of NASCAR, and now NASCAR is giving us another reason to celebrate. The 2025 NASCAR Cup Series Championship Playoffs are coming. Sunday, September 7th, 2025. Just when you thought the racing couldn't get any more intense, now every single lap matters. One wrong move could be the difference between elimination and being crowned the king. The Enjoy Illinois 300, the Confluence Music Festival, the NASCAR Cup Series Playoffs, and for the first time in 15 years, the NASCAR Xfinity Series on Saturday, September 6th. Don't be on the outside looking in. See history being made in your own backyard. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
And welcome back to the Elite Racing Network, where we are working our first caution. I want to give a shout out to our sponsors here tonight, Blue Egg Marketing. Rev up your business with Blue Egg, your marketing pit crew, to turbocharge your lead generation with experienced drivers that can navigate the competitive track to connecting with your customers. With Blue Egg, you're always on the pole position and leading your brand toward victory lane. Don't spin your wheels, accelerate success with Blue Egg, fueling small businesses to big wins. And Worldwide Technology Raceway. They are a motorsport racing facility in Madison, Illinois, just east of St. Louis, Missouri, and it features a 1.25 mile oval that hosts the NASCAR Cup Series, Truck Series, and the NTT IndyCar Series. They also have a 2-mile road course used by Speed Tour, Trans Am, SCCA, and the Porsche Club of America. And they also have a 1/4 mile NHRA sanctioned drag strip that hosts the annual NHRA Camping World Drag Racing Series Midwest Nationals event. And finally, they have the Kartplex, a state-of-the-art karting facility. As right here on the restart, we are going to have Josh Adams with us, and he's the driver. This is going to be a little bit of something that Josh wanted to do tonight. He said to bring him up anytime. So, Josh, right here when the green comes out, we're going to give the floor to you, and you could talk us through what you're doing and what you're looking for right here as the green comes out.
10-4. But you were my pick pre-race, so don't screw it up.
We tried to.
All right, the restart is on. We're getting back to the gears. Josh Adams restarting here at about, I don't know, what, 9th place or so?
So the first bit here, we've got more momentum on the bottom on most of the restarts, and then once kind of the checkups start happening, the top starts rolling again. Looks like that's starting to happen that way right now.
We've seen you work in the middle a lot. What's going on with that? It doesn't seem like it's been going all that well. Can you tell us why?
I think if you get a few, really committed guys, it could potentially work. But it's so tight and compact around Daytona that you get 2 lanes of cars on your right rear, and it just stalls all momentum you have, and it slows you down. It feels like 10 miles per hour.
Well, right now, staying in line on the bottoms worked you up here to side-by-side for fourth. What are you looking to do here? You going to try to pull out? And there it is, Josh, trying to pull out and lead that top lane. Johnny Thomas coming right with you. Oh, contact. We're wrecking behind you. Johnny gets into it with Jesse. They're coming back up. Chad Frankenfield is involved. Big wreck down here. Scott Crump. We've got a mess of cars down here. The 23 of Trey Holmes is in there. Dustin Dewar.
You always hate to see that. That would have been my buddy to the end, probably.
Oh, and that is unfortunate. But Josh, you had just made all the right moves.
Oh.
As we take a look here on the replay. Looks like William and Johnny. Johnny wasn't quite clear of William. They make contact. Johnny's trying to get this thing back to the left and just collects Scott Crump, Chad Frankenfield, Trey Holmes. I'm thinking the 90, the 83, and the 15 are probably not going to be competitive race cars the rest of this race. As we ride on board with Chad, he sees him go to the left. Never seen the car that came through and gave him the shot there.
Yeah, and Chris, behind me, it looks like William White has a pretty fair amount of front end damage. I don't know if that was from the incident we just had or the one prior, but he might be coming down for some damage repair here.
And William White was one of the
note the caution before is where that came from. Yeah, just nothing you can do once you get down in the grass like that for Johnny. He was kind of just along for the ride, and then unfortunately Chad was the first car that he collected once he came up the track there.
Yeah, we got Matthew Weeks coming back to pit road. Did he get some damage in that as well, I guess? He's coming down. I see R.C. Anderson coming down. I don't see anything on that 11 machine. This might be a play for all of Pro Edge to go back there and try to get lined up. Just have their own Pro Edge lane trying to work together. Because we know Trey Holmes was pretty heavily involved in that as well.
Yeah, I know it sounded like the last one, Ethan Burrell might have had some damage, so that could very well be a possibility.
But anyway, Josh, thanks for letting us do that ride along with us, or with you. And good luck the rest of the race right there, sitting in P3. And, of course, Jake wants you to prove him right here in his first outing tonight. So go get it done in that 22 machine on that new team and start Speed Weeks off with a bang.
Yeah, we'll try. It was pretty short-lived. If you think one of the next restarts will be a little bit better, you can bring me back up.
Well, and real quick before we let you jump out of here, we're working a caution. So what sponsors you got in the car this season?
So I've got Southtown. It's going to be a blog about college football and auto racing. I think mainly NASCAR. I believe it's mostly an upstart deal. So that's two things that, as you know, I'm very passionate about is football and racing. So that works out. And then we've got Numbers by Joe. Joe Francis' organization there on the car. That's a new brand for me on there. And then we've got the Juicy Spider Studios logo on there too. So, shout out to Mike and Nick and everybody at Juicy Spider that gives me a pretty good looking truck on Sunday nights.
All right, Josh, we'll let you get back to it. We know you're a big Notre Dame fan here for the next week.
Chris, quit your slander. Before we let you go, we were talking about the college football blog. We've got a pretty big college football game coming up next week. You want to just tell everybody who you're rooting for?
Definitely Ohio State. Chris.
Well, all right, Josh, we'll let you get back to it. Good luck here on this next restart and the rest of the race. 20 to go to try to find victory lane.
Thank you.
Well,
now,
boys,
Chris, you're in this position coming to the restart here. We've got 20 laps to go. Do you want to be where David Tooker's at leading the race, or would you rather be somebody coming through the pack?
I think you always want track position. and yet you can lose it real fast. So it's, I mean, I don't know. We're 20 laps to go, probably 3 cautions left in this thing. I mean, you know as well as I do, this small of a field, you could still win this thing from anywhere as long as you're on the lead lap. So it will be interesting. But David Tooker, Ethan Stanley, Josh Adams, William White, Joe Francis. Will be our top 5 here.
60-40 on the vote for Gerald's name of his Eagle on his car.
Yeah, Gerald's still out there driving the Eagle machine. Great looking car. We haven't talked about that tonight, but Gerald's car does. Look at that. Look at that screaming Eagle.
So if you go on our YouTube chat, you can vote on what they're going to name that Eagle, and that Eagle's name will be on the car for the rest of the season. Donald or Goodyear?
But right now we've got Pro Edge back there behind him. That's 3 Pro Edge cars lined up behind. No, that's Dustin Dewar back there. RC Trey, Dustin Dewar. Green flag getting ready to come back out. Green is out. Big restart here. See who can get it done right here. Big start for the bottom. Tooker gets out there. You have to wonder if they're seeing that damage on William White as well. That would make you hesitant to push that guy if he's the leader. You know, we'll see how good he pushes. It looks like he's pushing all right.
Yeah, I know if I'm out there, I'm always looking for the cars that have the nose damage, because those are the cars that you don't want pushing you. As long as he's got some help out back, I think they'll be okay.
His help's quickly gone. I think if you're Ethan Stanley, you got to move up there in front of that 3rd lane. And, well, Fody pulled back through, and he's going to be able to get up there if he wants to be. The outside lane just is completely dying right here.
For Josh to try and probably pull out on Tooker as soon as Ethan Stanley starts to get some forward momentum here. Try and take the outside line.
Yeah, but it's going to be pretty difficult. And Josh was the one who, brought it to our attention about the 33 having damage. There goes Tate Lytle.
Here he was out to lunch. He was practicing for the 24 back here about 20 laps ago, and now he's right back in it.
This is where I think Josh pulls up. Oh, and there they all go.
Behind him, they've got
Joe Francis pulled out as well.
Lane. That stacks the bottom all the way back up.
And Fody pulls out on his teammate. There goes Joe Francis looking for the lead down here into turn number 3. Josh going to pull down there, try to get that side draft, try to pull him back. We're coming to 19 laps to go here. Now Josh has kind of got a mirror drive here. You're seeing Josh going to try to keep Tate right behind him. Tate might be looking for that right rear. Maybe a little bit too early to look for that right rear. Tooker pushing Joe hard on the bottom.
What we mean by looking for the right rear, Tate wants to get out there and he wants to try and surprise Josh and get on his quarter panel and get outside before Josh can get out there and block to the wall.
Oh, nearly some contact. Here comes Weeks up the top.
A big run coming up the top here. Does Josh go up and block? He does.
I don't think he's got a choice if he wanted to keep the lead car. And there goes Weeks. That was a little bit of a look by Weeks there to his right rear. But now they're connected, so now Weeks is going to stay with him. You're kind of out there on an island, and if you pull out the pass when you're out there on an island, you're just going to drag each other back. So Weeks is kind of stuck with him for now. Tooker pulls to the top.
Seems like whoever's running second on the bottom, as soon as they see that forward momentum from the second lane come, they want to be leading that second lane.
And here comes that top lane again. Does Josh pull out there? I think you got to. If you want to keep track position, you got to pull out there to the very top. Oh, Tate gets back in line. And it's all coming up Pro Edge. We saw all those Pro Edge guys pit. Well, there they are lined up. 3rd, 4th, 5th on the top, and the leader on the top. Josh Adams is sitting in there. He's the imposter right now.
It's a big move from Weeks. He dipped his tires below the yellow line right there. He wasn't able to advance any position, though.
These shoves are getting pretty aggressive right now. Josh just laying all over Tooker. Big push here. You see Tyler Fody going to try to shoot up the middle. John Cutlip coming as well. Oh, big moves there. They're going to all pull out underneath Tooker. And they just send Tooker backwards.
Yeah,
Gerald's going to pull to the very top. That's going to kill all the lanes right there.
Yeah, we're talking about all these Pro Edge guys and all these different teammates
And here
lining
comes
up.
Lytle.
And I see them keep just leaving each other out hanging to dry.
Tate with a big move. And Josh's lane is just backing up. Josh got shipped out and shipped back. Josh is thinking, man, I've been running first or second ever since this restart. And now we're back in the storm.
Here comes the 40. We've got Tyler Fody. We talked about it earlier. One of the best super speedway racers we've got out here. Coming down to 15 to go this time, and he's running third. He's going to try and go take the lead, but he's by himself. He's got no help.
And I'm going to tell you what, Matthew Weeks and Josh Adams have just went straight to the back of this pack. Here comes Johnny Thomas trying to come up the middle with some damage. Fody tries to block, can't quite get there to block. The whole lane stacks up. And all of a sudden, third and fourth, we've got Gerald Campbell, Dustin Dewar. You got Josh Robin back up here towards the front. I think it'd be pretty cool to see that Screaming Eagle try to drive to the front one good time here before the end of this race. Here comes Fody with a big push on the bottom. He's got good help. Stanley, you got Tooker, you got Josh Adams coming through on the bottom. Big push here.
Backing up. So the bottom's starting to get formed up. You've got the 40 and the 91. You've got 4 good cars down there. I think if anybody can make the bottom work, there's 4 cars right there that know what they're doing.
Oh, and here comes Trey Holmes trying to search for that middle side here. Matthew Weeks going into the middle as well. That middle lane's trying to form back up. Who dares tries to move up in front of that middle lane? Or down in front of that middle lane.
Right now, I think if they get a big enough run, and I'm Gerald Campbell, I can try and take that shot and get shot to the lead.
Oh, and there he goes. There goes Trey through the middle. Tate sitting out there all by himself.
That top line broke up just a little bit, and that's allowing Trey in this 23 and the 11 to get right up side by side for the lead. Now there's the 11. He was hot. He's got to back off. And that's gonna kill everything they had gained.
Yeah, now you got to try to figure out how you're going to get to the front. If you're at the front, how you're going to keep the lead. See all these guys moving and shaking. Oh, a little bit of wall contact down the back. I'm going to tell you what, and this is what you're watching. You might think it looks easy, but I guarantee you that these guys shoving and pushing, and they're just hanging on right now in this pack as Trey Holmes goes to the lead with help from Matthew Weeks. Weeks quickly dumps him, moves to the top. You got to think Pro Edge is liking what they're seeing. I know you talked about it earlier, Jake, that they were hanging each other out, but all of a sudden they've worked together well to get back up here. They occupy first through fourth.
Then they've got the 37 and the 19. They're 37's mid-pack, 19's back of this pack. That's 2 more cars that they can try and get up there to get a buffer to the rest of the field.
Big push on the bottom, big push on the top. Tate connected to Weeks heading down into turn 3. Turns him sideways a little bit. That's going to disconnect him. That's going to give the momentum to the bottom, and Matthew knew that and pulled down. As soon as they got disconnected, Matthew just pulled down to the bottom. Couple lap cars coming up. I believe it is Scott Crump and Jesse Racimus out there in front of these boys. 11 laps to go here.
That was a smart move by the driver of the 11. It's a guy that's a champion of the series. He saw his help kind of die out, and he knew what was going to keep him in the front, and that was going to the bottom. Now can Tate get enough to get back up there? So that top has completely gone to the back.
Well, here they go. Big move. And here's the lap cars we were talking about.
Now Matthew's playing both sides of the street. He goes from the bottom. He leaves Trey out there. Gets the help from Fody. And now we've got 3 Pro Edge cars on the bottom. Got Matthew leading the race, and then I believe Cutlip is a satellite team right there too.
And here's Fody leading this top lane. Oh, the inside lane
Big
just
push
about
it.
wrecks. Ethan Burrell with the big save. This top, they got to get down there in side draft. You got to get down there a little bit closer. I mean, they are just dying out behind Tyler Fody right now. They're just not trying to side draft, and I think that is not ideal. You got to get down there and side draft that inside lane. That has killed the top side. They pull back down to the bottom.
Trey Holmes turned Matthew Weeks sideways, and then we got the 37 missing that. Made the pass for the lead under the line.
And Weeks is really backing up because of that issue. Cutlet pulls to the middle, but that was
gonna get the
not
37
good.
the lead.
Here they come. Oh, Josh could have pulled all the way to the top there, and he chose not to. He chose to let Tate get to his outside there. I'm really surprised to see that. That's really going to hurt Josh. He's got no help right now. I know he's hanging on. There goes Josh Robin. Tyler Fody pull all the way out. Tate gets up there, and it's going to leave Fody hung in the middle. But here comes teammate Ethan Stanley. Says, hang on, buddy, I'm coming, and I got you.
8 laps to go. We got the 8 car leading the lap, and then Tate Lytle says, not any longer. I'm going to cross under you. I'm going to take the lead.
And there we go. Dustin Dewar pulling back up to the back of Josh Adams. Josh Robbins going to have a big run down the back. How do you choose to block that if you're Ethan Burrell and Tate Lytle? Robin pulls down. He's got his teammates down there. Lake Norman lined up on that bottom lane. Straight up Lake Norman versus Pro Edge right now. This battle goes to Lake Norman. Robin gets out there. Fody gets out there. At what point do you have to bail on Ethan Stanley and say, hey, man, thanks for your help, but if we're going to win this race, we got to move up here and kind of protect the front. Right now, whoever's in that outside lane.
They're all clear now. If they get up there now, I think they could take control of this race and then side draft their way to the win here, really.
I am very surprised that nobody in that top lane right now is side drafting. We saw Fody not do it. We saw Tate not do it.
So here goes Josh. He's gonna block Tate. He's gonna try and get the push from the top. He's gonna try and take himself to the lead. Coming 6 to go this time.
Lake Norman chooses to stay on the bottom side. They're going to let Josh drive around. If they all stay on the bottom, they're letting the whole line drive around them. You got to get up there. I think if I'm Robin and Fody, I am getting up there.
Oh,
they nearly wrecked.
That's that three car deep push, and it didn't work.
And here comes Cutlip with a big run.
As fast as everything could change. We saw Matthew Weeks turn dead sideways. He was looking at the inside wall 3 or 4 laps ago. Now he's right back in it with a chance to win again.
And there's Pro Edge, though. Once again, they stack up, they fall back, and then they come back as a unit. 4 of them lined up on that top lane. Coming to 5 to go this time.
We've got 5 laps to go. They're racing pretty hard. We've got, don't want to mention it, but we've got 3 green-white checkers tonight. So let's hope we don't have to use any of them as hard as these guys are pushing.
And there's Robin. He makes the block.
Big block.
And I think you got to. If you're trying to win the race, you got to throw that block. Oh, Cutlip's going to try to go through the middle. And that's actually going to bring that's all of Pro Edge right there.
Yeah, that's all of them coming. Josh was put between a rock and a hard place. I should say a rock and no place, because now he's last. He's back. No help back there.
And Pro Edge has lined up 5 cars deep on that top side now. And so this is all coming up Pro Edge right now.
Now the question is, if you're somebody like a Josh Adams or a Gerald Campbell looking back there, the first guys behind the teammate wall, what do you do? You're by yourself. How do you go about this?
Well, here comes Tooker, another Pro Edge guy, trying to come through the middle with another Pro Edge driver and Tate Lytle. Fode's throwing the block. Fode says if there's a Pro Edge car coming, it's got to push me. It's not going to drive right around me. And here goes Trey down to the bottom.
Josh has got a big run here on the bottom with Ethan Stanley. Can they stay far enough
Ethan
away
Burrell
from the
pulls out.
outside?
Pro Edge is trying to establish the front of both of these lines. That way they can drag race amongst each other.
Big move by Matthew Weeks, but he's got no help. The 5 is going to get down there and try and get on his quarter panel. Here comes Ethan. Big push down the back straightaway for both lanes.
And unless something happens, this is great for Pro Edge. You're coming to 2 to go. You've got the first 3 cars on the bottom, the first 2 cars on the top. Going to probably try to work together to keep this field side by side. This is a great setup for Pro Edge here coming to 2 to go. The question is, as there's Weeks moving up, I think Gerald's probably sitting there knowing the situation at hand.
Oh, he's going backwards. He's got Robin in the middle.
Yeah, this is all Pro. If a Pro Edge car doesn't win this race, it's going to be just a total flop by the whole team.
Got all the momentum on the top. If I'm the 19 and the 56, those are the guys that are probably going to get the run going into turn 1, and I would look for them to dive to the bottom and try to make the second lane.
I think if I'm all these guys from Gerald back, I just pull down to the bottom right now.
That's the only shot you give yourself. Because if you're somebody back here, the bad
and
push
they
from
wreck.
Josh, that's gonna get Gerald turned.
Yeah, so the white flag is out, so we're not going to get a caution. And it's all coming up Pro Edge here down the backstretch. The question is, which one's going to get the victory lane? They're all pushed way out there. John's going to have a big run. Tyler Fode goes to the top of 3 on Tate Lytle here. John's got to pull up the block.
Up there in the wall.
Make contact, getting into the
Big
wall.
run.
Tate's around.
Lytle's around. We're going to have 4 guys coming to the checker.
And it's going to be Pro Edge 1, 2, 3. RC pulls out to make the
Gonna
pass.
be RC at the line.
RC, Weeks, Tooker, Josh Adams. Pro Edge using team work to the 100th degree tonight there. That was a great ran race there by those Pro Edge teammates.
Well,
I
Pro
have
Edge
all of your guys up
and
there.
teamwork to 7 1,000ths of a second. It's that close.
What a race. R.C. Enerson, Matthew Weeks, Tooker, Adams, Fode, John Cutlip, Josh Robin, Ethan Burrell, Tate Lytle, Ethan Stanley will round out your top 10. Taking a look here at the run to the line. They all get stacked up right there. You see R.C. get to his bumper. Right here, Weeks is probably thinking he's going to look to my right side, so I'm going to shadow up a little bit because the side draft is a little bit more aggressive on the right rear than it is the left rear, but he was still able to get to his left rear, pulling back just enough. Just makes the pass at the line. What a job. Tooker pulling out to go 3 wide there, Pro Edge cars. There's Tate coming across sideways. What a race, fellas. What a kickoff to Speed Weeks. Pro Edge sends a message right here to kick off Speed Weeks that you guys are going to have to beat us to win any races this week. That's what I take from this. What do you guys take?
Yeah, that's basically exactly the same thing. And you've got the big power teams, and you've got Pro Edge standing on top. So they came out of this battle. Now it's can any other team take it to them going forward this week?
And with that, we will take our final commercial break of the night. And on the other side of that commercial, we will have interviews with our top 3 drivers. So stick with us, and we'll see you on the other side of the break.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And welcome back to Daytona, where the clash has just ended, and I am standing down here with our third place finisher, David Tooker. Tooker, talk to us about the race, what you learned out there for the rest of the week, and how you can manage to be 2 spots better next Wednesday.
Well, I mean, first of all, it's great to be back. I mean, I feel like I've missed racing with everybody for a while now. This off break felt a little longer than the rest of them, but no, it's just a nice little get together. I call this race a nice little get together for everybody in Elite. And it was a really fun event. I mean, everybody here that was in it and that I was racing against, everybody there, I know everybody can handle aggressive plate racing, which honestly it makes these races so fun. It's just we can be aggressive all out 110% all the time. And I mean, not that there's not going to be mistakes made, as we saw there was a couple wrecks tonight, but I mean, that's just part of plate racing. You're so close together. But I mean, it's just nice to get a refresher and race with everybody again. And looking forward to the start of the season, really. But no, like you said, a lot to learn. I mean, I feel like the Cup car, the runs you develop are a little bit less than they were last year, at least this time of year. Around 2023, around this time of year, the pickup off of the draft from the Cup car is a little different. So just establishing the run's going to be a little different, but I think we have 200 laps to figure that out pretty soon. So I'm looking forward to the rest of the start of the season, and hopefully we can get those 2 spots better than the 500. The duel is whatever, but I'm looking for that 500 for sure.
Yeah, and talk to us about the race tonight. At times, it looked like the Pro Edge Invitational with all of you guys working together and being in the top 10 together. So, how much of that did you guys talk about pre-race, and how much of it just kind of worked out that way?
Honestly, I think it 100% all just worked out that way. I mean, we're all in the same Discord, but I mean, as you saw, it'd be some of us in the bottom, some of us up top, and we'd all switch together who we're working with. It's not even necessarily that we're looking for each other. We just happen to end up in the same spot, and that's just who is in front of us is who in front of us. There was a couple times where I got to work with my new teammate Trey. I mean, I've worked with Trey on numerous occasions, but to have him in the Discord and with us, and also just the car that I can look for now, and somebody that I can trust is very huge. So adjusting to that was a little different, but no, I mean, for the most part, I feel like all of us, at least on this side of the garage, we definitely all work pretty similar and have the same mindset of what we need to do to advance in these plate races as far as position wise, and that's just part of all of us racing together and all the knowledge we've built for the last, I would say, 6-7 years on this simulation, trying to get better and better. We all just happen to end up having the same mindset and end up in the same place. So I think a lot of it is a lot of it luck and just happens to be there. But every once in a while we'll coordinate. But tonight it was just a free for all, really, is what I like to call it.
Well, all right. Before we let you jump out of here, we'll shout out any sponsors, and everybody's gotten some new sponsors, some new schemes, and shout out to anybody watching out here as well. And then to follow up on that, did you enjoy your off season? Did you have a good holiday?
Well, I'll tackle that first. We had a great off season. With the holidays and everything, it was fun to catch up with family and hang out and enjoy that time. It's I always love hanging out with my family, especially around holiday times, and my birthday is right around the corner too, so it works out great. But no, I like you said, just looking forward to getting back racing with these guys. Believe it or not, I missed racing with everybody. As frustrating and just complicated it can be sometimes trying to get all of us to work well and race well against each other. We have our run-ins every once in a while, but it makes for a fun midweek things to do. So I'm happy with it. As far as sponsors, I'm working on something that's going to come a little bit later this year. I think I'm going to run this monster car for a large percentage of the season, but I do have something in the works. But as far as sponsors, everybody at Elite, Chad, puts us together for us. He's been putting it on for me for the past 6, almost 7 years, and even before that, racing with him on the console days. So really appreciative of all what he does to get this organized every single year and keep bringing the same quality of racing, and we keep improving on it every year. So looking forward to the start of this season with Elite, and as well as Belly Up Sports for coming on board with us for the last couple years. Blue Egg Worldwide Technology, 40 Racewear, and JD Designs, of course. John paints all these cars. John Cutlip, he's painted all of but one Pro Edge car and plenty of cars throughout the field. I know he does Lake Norman as well and a couple other teams. So if you're looking for a beautiful paint scheme like this one or any of the Elite field, let's be honest here. I mean, besides a few, he definitely does take care of most of the field. So if you're looking for a beautiful paint scheme that you know it's going to come out good, definitely hit up John over at JD Designs on Twitter. But other than that, like I said, everybody at Elite, also you guys up in the booth for what you do for the series every week for us, and looking forward to coming back here and watching our races again.
Yeah, and it was a great kickoff to the season. Can't wait to get out there on Wednesday, qualify, run those duels, and this is my only Cup broadcast of the year, so I'll be out there with you. You talked about those issues. We've never had an issue, so.
Looking forward to it, Chris. Looking forward to it.
All right, I'll see you on Wednesday, and I can't wait to call you to the checker flag in some of those Monday night races.
Alrighty, boys. Have a good one.
All right, I believe Jacob Adams is with our second place finisher.
Yep, we've got Matthew Weeks. Matthew got second place today, just barely behind your teammate RC. Just take us through that last lap and how that came to be.
I was leading, so I seen RC was on the bottom, and I seen they were going down the back. He said he was cool, so he started pushing me, and then I wasn't thinking what I was gonna do because the last 2 clashes I've led on the last lap and lost coming to the line, so I was having those going through my mind. So as we go into 3, I watched John and all them start battling and get a little squirrely. So I'm like, okay, it's to us. So when we come out of 4, I went to the middle of the track. Excuse me, thinking he was going to go to the outside, and he played me, man. He went to the bottom. I'm so used to everyone going to the outside with the side draft being so much stronger on the right side, and he got me just by inches right there at the line. And dang, I want to win one of these clashes, man. I always finish second or third in these things, so we're going to get one eventually.
Yeah, you get one eventually. What was that like? When you're coming off turn 4 there? Were you looking in your mirror more than you were out the windshield? Was it 80-20, 70-30?
I probably had my left eye looking straight, and my right eye looking up in the mirror. To be honest, yeah, I was focused on the mirror. I've got Daytona pretty well known to where I can handle a bump draft and know where my car is. So I was just focused, on that mirror, trying to pay attention to what RC was going to do. I didn't know how close Tooker was behind him, if anyone was behind him, because all I seen was the nose of RC's car. So yeah, I was just focused on that.
Speaking of the bump drafts, sometimes they're a little bit crazy, and we saw you looking at the inside wall here with about 8 laps to go. You had a great save there. You got some contact from the 23. How difficult was it to come back from the back and get back to the lead that quick?
To me, it's not that hard. I pride myself with this car at these play tracks that I can make moves and get back up there. And yeah, I thought I lost it there, and I think he got a little bit too far to the left, and I thought I crashed it, dude. It took me 2 laps back there. I had to slow down and like, all right, catch my breath, get back going, because it literally made me break out in a sweat because I wasn't ready for it. But that was saying, and just gotta push stuff. I had John right in front of me, and he helped me. We cut through the middle pretty well, and then once we got back up there, it was just all about trying to take control and control the race to the end, and that didn't work totally to the ending.
Right, yeah, that was one of those times I was happy to be up watching you guys and wasn't the guy down there looking at the inside wall. That's always scary, but it was nice to have a different view of things. And going forward, any shout outs, sponsors, teammates, anybody you got shout out?
Shout out to my Pro Edge guys, and Trey for hopping board over here on the I should say the bad side. He's over here on the bad crew.
The
Proud
mothership.
to have
The
him.
mothership.
Yeah, the mothership. It's good to have him. Me and him is like my favorite guy to work at on play tracks. Me and him just have these connections at these type of tracks where we work so well. So I knew when I was dodging lanes and I knew he was down there, I knew I could trust him to push me. It's just a little bad luck that one where we always all good. Shout out JV Designs, new sponsor on the car this season on the hood. Be a full sponsor both at Cup and Xfinity. My buddy Justin Vandermeer, he brings the heat on these paint schemes. I know some of y'all got my other friend John Cullip at JD Designs. He paints some amazing schemes too. They're some of the best, both of them. All the field up guys, they didn't really get to race tonight, so I hope to see them in the 500. Chad put on the league. You guys in the booth, I hope y'all were entertained because that was some crazy racing tonight, and everyone was just going at it, so that was fun. And all the sponsors as part of the Cup Series and everything that keeps this thing rolling. And let's get to Daytona and try to get another one.
All right, well, Matthew, good run tonight. This is my only Cup broadcast of the season, so I'd look forward to calling you home in some of those Grand National races on Mondays.
All right, man. I appreciate it. I'll catch y'all later.
All right, and wrapping up our interviews for the night is our winner, RC. We didn't see you for a little while last season. It was a little bit of hit and miss, RC, and now you're back with us here to kick off this season and coming out with a bang here, winning this clash. So talk to us about your off season and how you managed to find victory lane tonight.
It's been a rough half of the season. I was pretty present for the first beginning, but this is my first race on the new sim rig since we got flooded from the Hurricane Helene. So my old sim rig was gone. Had to order a bunch of new stuff, get everything built, and it took a while to build. It all came in pieces, and getting settings done and making sure that this thing was drivable. It took a long time. But thankfully we had a little bit of that off season there, and I could, have this thing ready to go for the season opener.
How'd you manage to find victory lane tonight? We saw you run near the front, but you didn't lead a whole lot, and then you were in the perfect spot there to pass teammate Matthew Weeks coming down towards the checker flag. So how did you put yourself in that position to have a shot to win the race there at the end?
I'm going to go with a little bit of dumb luck and a little bit of just like it's all about the pushing. I mean, you can take two cars and break away from the field for a second if they're side by side. And I had dropped to the bottom just because the top lane was so full, and I spent a whole lap completely by myself with pushing, like with nobody in front of me. So I knew when Weeks dropped in front of me when we took the white that I had a cool car. So I was like, I'm not going to be, I don't have to lift. I can do the whole lap pushing him. And we ended up, breaking off from the field. Tooker was a bit back. Didn't have to worry about overheating at all. And then it was weird to me. I was like, Weeks told me, he's like, no, normally people go off to the right, to the outside to go for the line. So he went that way. And I was like, I just went to the bottom. I was debating on pulling out on that a little bit later, but I'm glad I did when I did. 7,000ths of a second is pretty close. But no, it's cool to get the sim rig back up and running and be back with you guys and be trying to run as much of the calendar as I can.
Yeah, and what's your outlook here on the season? You missed a lot of races last season, or else you would have been right there in the playoff and in the championship hunt. So what's the outlook here, and are there any tracks you got circled that you can't wait to get to?
Obviously, road courses, those are fun. I always love the road courses, even though, Ethan's giving me a run for my money on them now. But yeah, no, the mile and a halves and the road courses are a lot of fun. Plate tracks, I never have any good luck at. I'm surprised I had the luck I had tonight with getting involved in a couple incidents and still getting damage repaired with not too much damage and being able to pull that off. But you're obviously not running with a full grid. So it changes a lot. But plate tracks, I don't really have too much luck. So I don't circle those on my calendar. I just hope I survive them. But no, yeah, those mile and a halves and the road courses are a lot of fun for me. So those will be a lot of fun, and we'll just have to see. I got some, the school events coming up. We'll see what happens with my own racing, but I'm hopeful that I'm able to get here for a lot of the sim racing stuff and try to actually finish out a season in all three series.
All right, RC, before we let you jump out of here and celebrate, are there any sponsors you want to thank, shout out you want to give?
Yeah, obviously Lucas Oil School of Racing. You guys up here in the booth, you guys do an awesome job. I say it every single time I get interviewed, and it's fun to go back and watch the replays and you see everything from the outside versus just in your own cockpit. Chad for running all these leagues, that's a full-time job in itself to deal with all of us. And then I don't think I can technically be on Pro Edge. I think I'm an open car, and they already have a full roster, so we're going to make a new team called Edge Pro. And that's going to be what I'm going to run as for Cup and I think Xfinity, but I think on trucks I'm Pro Edge. So we'll see what happens. But
I call you all Pro Edge anyway. I say it's all Pro Edge. It's all the same.
It's a collective.
This is our only
group of
broadcast
people.
of the year anyway, so it doesn't matter.
It's our collective group of people. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I enjoy running with those guys, and I can't wait to do more of it. So, but thank you.
All right, RC, we look forward to watching you try to run into the Daytona 500 on Wednesday, qualify for that pool, and get ready for the big race next week.
I will not see you guys at the Daytona 500. I wish I could run it. You will be missing Wednesday. I'll be here for the Wednesday for the 500, but I will not be able to qualify because I won't be able to run the qualifying in the duel. So who knows? Maybe you guys will have me up here in the booth or something like that if I have nothing going on that Wednesday.
Well, all right, we'll see what happens, and maybe you'll still get into the race anyway. Who knows? We got that new rule in the Cup Series in real life. Maybe Chad will figure out a way to get you to start as a 44th guy.
Yeah, we'll see about that. That doesn't. When you're running full season, I don't want to put anybody in tight spots. People that are racing for that position. So if I can't qualify, I will not race. But I will have to take that loss, and I will try to make it up through the rest of the season.
All right, RC, congrats on the win. Glad to have you back. Can't wait to see you out here on the racetrack moving forward.
Thanks a lot, Chris.
Well, boys, this was our One Cup broadcast of the year. I think we did all right. I think we'll give it back to the regular crew next week, though. They'll be excited to be back. It was a great race. We saw a great finish. Lots of green flag racing tonight. You mentioned that there were 5 to go, Jake, about using the green white checkers. We ended up not needing any of them. Just had us a couple yellows there. But nonetheless, it was a great kickoff to Speed Weeks. Great to see what these cars are going to do. Can't wait to get back out there on Wednesday and try to get into the 500. Well, we'll have 2 nights. We'll have 1 night of racing with 2 races on Wednesday night, so it should be great. Maybe we'll dip in and out of the booth here in the race we're not in. But any final thoughts from you guys about this clash tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I think we saw a good race. Like RC kind of mentioned, it wasn't a full field, so we kind of got a sample of what we're going to see next Wednesday. When the field broke up, there wasn't a whole lot of cars left, so there wasn't a whole lot of energy at a lot of times, and we'll have to see how that changes come Wednesday. But more than anything, just good luck to all the drivers out here in Elite. They're some of the best on iRacing. Just good luck to the guys trying to make the field.
Any final thoughts from you, Dave, tonight?
Nope, I'm just ready to get out of here. It's going to be a long week with a lot of racing action, so let's get at it.
Well, all right, I want to give a shout out to all our sponsors here that were with us tonight: Blue Egg Marketing, Worldwide Technology Raceway. Of course, this was the Belly Up Sports Cup Series. Great to have them back here with the partner with us once again for this season. And like I mentioned, I believe we have an ARCA race tomorrow night. Correct, Dave?
Correct. We're at Iowa.
So we're at Iowa tomorrow night for the ARCA Series. Wednesday night, we'll have 2 races here. We'll have the duels for you on Wednesday night. And then next Sunday, we'll kick off the Truck Series. Monday, we'll kick off that's when you'll see us again. Monday night, we'll kick off the Mark Rebelos Photography Series. And then on Wednesday next week, we'll have the Daytona 500. And in case you didn't know, on Sunday night during the Truck Series, Dave Huck will be running full time.
That's right.
He'll be stepping out of his own shoes up here in the ERN section, where he keeps all of us in line, runs all of Elite Racing Network. Couldn't do it without you, Dave. I know you're not here every time for me to say that, but ERN would be just total chaos if Dave wasn't here to keep all of us in line and tell us where we're supposed to be. But on Sunday night, he'll be joining me on the racetrack there for the season kickoff and running full-time for a championship. Dave hoping to get into that Final Four, have a shot at that title.
All right, Chris, wrap it up. Let's go.
But anyway, thanks for tuning in with us tonight. Can't wait to see you back here next week, and make sure you tune in the rest of the week for all of your Elite Racing action here on the Elite Racing Network. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.